Game week 25 is approaching us, and you guys know I have a problem for SAKA, and I've rectified that problem this week. Let me explain. But before we get started, you guys should know the drill by now. Make sure you guys leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and like I always say, comment your thoughts on my team, because I always say I love reading comments. That helps me make my decisions. But anyway, let's start with my team for game week 25, and you guys can see the defense straight away. We have actually a bit of a dilemma in goal. Do I start Dubravka in goal against West Ham or Verbruggen against Crystal Palace? Now, I'm currently on Verbruggen against Crystal Palace. The reason so is Crystal Palace offensively, there's a lot of change going on. For example, Mateta is still at the club. It looks like he's going to get surgery done. Strand Larsen, is he going to come straight into the side? I'm not too sure. Last game, they had Jeremy Pino playing centrally, and the dynamics for Crystal Palace just did not look right. So I'm leaning towards Verbruggen at home against Crystal Palace. I'm hoping he can keep a clean sheet. Let's see. But listen, this is a close call, I believe. The defense, very, very interesting, because there's one player I really want to talk about in particular. But let's start with the easy one, which is Gabriel at home to Sunderland. He's a captaincy contender, I'll be honest, this week. Sunderland, if we're looking at clean sheet odds, Arsenal have a 56% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Now, this is the second highest odds we've had this season. The first highest was when Arsenal played Wolves, and listen, the game ended 2-1, I believe it was. Arsenal did concede, but listen, anything can happen, obviously, in this game. I still expect Arsenal to have very, very strong chances of keeping a clean sheet, so let's see how that goes. So I'm very, very happy owning Gabriel. I'm going to talk on Timber a bit later, but Joachim Andersen is also who I'm starting against Everton at home. Again, very, very good chance of keeping a clean sheet again. Fulham will probably have one of the highest odds this week. Again, you guys can see it on the screen. Second highest odds. And obviously, we always say with Joachim Andersen, brilliant DEFCON potential. Now, the reason why I left Timber to last is, if you guys haven't seen it, and I'm recording this at currently 1:05, over the last hour, Timber hasn't been pictured in Arsenal training. So now this could mean a couple of things. This could either be load management for the club, Timber not training. He might join up with the group a bit later on, you never know. But more importantly, let's just say he's ruled out. Am I thinking about making a transfer? The answer to that question is no. I still have Joe Rodon on my bench against Nottingham Forest at home. And we always say Leeds are very, very good at home. But for now, listen, I expect Timber to play. It's Sunderland at home. I keep saying it every single week. Timber should have more points. Timber is dodging points right now. Let's see how it goes this week. Hopefully, he can finally get himself a goal. He can finally get a big haul. Because like I keep saying, the positions Timber picks up, he's due a return. He's not underperforming his expected goal involvement data massively. So let's see. But anyway, that is the defense. Let's have a look at the midfield. And now the midfield. And listen, you guys can see the transfer I made. I'll explain it in a bit. But let's go from left to right. Starting off with Enzo Fernandez. I'll be honest, Enzo Fernandez just keeps getting 90 minutes. We know Liam Rosenior, even after the game, spoke about Enzo's fitness levels. They're incredible. So I expect them again, even though I expect Cole Palmer to start this game. Enzo to be a bit deeper, but you still play the full game. And we know Enzo Fernandez is so good at attacking the box. So even if he plays a bit deeper, I don't mind it. The only problem is whenever Cole Palmer plays, obviously Cole Palmer is going to be on penalties. But listen, Enzo Fernandez, Wolves away is a good fixture on paper, even though I do think Wolves have been a lot better in recent weeks. But let's see how that game goes. Now, Semenyo against Liverpool away. Now, this is a very interesting one because I've seen, obviously, a lot of criticism aimed at Semenyo. Some, in my opinion, slightly harsh by Manchester City fans at him. He's completely different, like I always say to the other Manchester City wingers. He has probably the worst ball retention out of the City wingers, but then he offers them completely different in terms of he can obviously score goals. You even saw yesterday against Newcastle, he had the opportunity where Ryan scored to obviously take that chance as well. I expect him to start against Liverpool away. I know Liverpool over the last 6 game weeks, 7 game weeks had been a lot better defensively. The data proves that. But at the same time, we know Liverpool are still not the strongest, let's say, defensively. We know their fullbacks can still be got out. And we know what Semenyo done at Anfield earlier on in the season when he scored 2 goals. Of course, that was for Bournemouth. Let's see how he does for Manchester City, where City will have obviously a lot more of the ball. But I still expect this fixture and matchup to be relatively good for Semenyo. So I'm going to start him. I'm still very, very confident in him going forward. But let's see. I'm currently starting James Garner. And now this is where there is a bit of a dilemma if I start James Garner or if I start Joe Rodon. I'm going to go with James Garner, even though, listen, Drewsbury Hall's now back in the side. He's obviously going to take a lot more of the set pieces and Garner's going to take less. But Garner's performing at a very, very good level for Everton. He's getting DEFCON at a very good rate. So I'm going to lean towards him. The only reason over Joe Rodon is Joe Rodon in the last couple of games has hit DEFCON. But overall, especially in that back three when Leeds has switched, he hasn't really been hitting the same DEFCON that he might have done at the start of the season. But listen, it is a very tight call. I still might change it, but I'm going to go with James Garner for now. And then the transfer in. Obviously, I had Bukayo Saka in my team. And there was a couple ways that I could have gone about it. Obviously, Saka dropped yesterday, but I made this transfer yesterday. I had 0.5 million in the bank. And there was a part of me that was really tempted to go from Saka to Cole Palmer. And I know Cole Palmer hasn't been at his best this season. I know his minutes are not the most secure. But there's probably a good chance that Cole Palmer starts this Wolves game after him getting benched against Arsenal. And listen, Cole Palmer will be is such a great differential, even though he hasn't looked good. But at the same time, Cole Palmer, if I bring him in, I'm pretty much locking in a transfer over the next couple of weeks. At least with Declan Rice, I can have him in my side until game week 31, when obviously Arsenal do blank in it. And then if I did not bring in Declan Rice this week, there's still that dilemma of I need my third Arsenal player for next week, which will obviously cost another transfer. So I went the safer route with Declan Rice. Sunderland at home is obviously a decent fixture on paper. Sunderland away, not the same side. And also in the double, Declan Rice has 2 away fixtures. Most of Declan Rice's DEFCON, so I think he's achieved DEFCON 8 times this season. 7 of them have been away from home. So Declan Rice is clearly better from an FPL point of view, let's say away from home. Both the fixtures are away in the double, which is why Declan Rice is the guy that I've chosen. I know a lot of people have the dilemma of going triple Arsenal defense. I'll be honest, I don't mind it. I really, really don't mind it. You can go with triple Arsenal defense, but at the same time, for me to go triple Arsenal defense, that would mean I bring in David Raya. And I'll be honest, you guys know the criticisms that I have with David Raya. He's either going to be a 2-pointer or he's either going to be a 6-pointer. He's probably going to get a 6-pointer a lot, but at the same time, I trust Verbrugge and Dubravka rotation enough where they can, I'm not going to say outscore him, but match him close enough. But anyway, let's see in it. And Declan Rice outfield, it just makes the double game slightly more enjoyable. And I also got Bruno Fernandes. Now the question will be, am I captaining Bruno Fernandes? And the answer to that question is yes. Now, why am I captaining Bruno Fernandes over, let's say, a Gabriel, which I know people are doing, and over Erling Haaland? I actually think stylistically this is a very good matchup with Manchester United, but more in particular, I actually think this is a very good matchup for Brian and Mbeumo. If people want a real differential captain, I'd go with Mbeumo. But I've gone with Bruno. Listen, we always say it with Bruno. So many different routes to points. His goal for it probably hasn't been there the last couple games. His assist for it has been very, very good. So let's see. But at the same time, he does take penalties, which helps. And is more to do with, in my opinion, the other captaincy contender in Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland, if you guys haven't seen it, 1 goal now in his last 7 league games. I'm watching Erling Haaland, and I just don't think he's as sharp as he was earlier on in the season. He's having chances still. He will always have chances playing up front for Manchester City, but he's just not looking as sharp. And Erling Haaland is going to come up against Virgil van Dijk and Konate. Now, this is a centre-back pairing that I have had the better of him at times in the previous matchups. So, listen, an improved Liverpool defence, going to Anfield, Konate and Van Dijk together. Konate obviously looked a lot better last game as well. I'm not feeling the Erling Haaland captaincy. I'm not feeling it. So I'm avoiding him. I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes. And I've also got Ivan Nilsson up top. Listen, last game when I brought him in, it wasn't great. He didn't have any shots. Aston Villa at home is a tough fixture, but it's a home game for Bournemouth. We know they're so much better at home, so hopefully he can obviously perform. Now, there are a couple other things that I want to talk about. And I know Ty might have got annoyed with it yesterday in the video. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure you guys watch it. The plan for game week 31. Now, I'm going to keep mentioning this because this is very, very important for a lot of reasons, especially for my team. Because my team currently consists of Mark Gui as my third forward. So I might have 3 Arsenal players which are going to blank. So I have to take that into consideration. I have 2 Manchester City players that I currently have in my team. That's 5 players in my team that will blank in game week 31. But then Mark Gui is never going to play for Chelsea in that game week 31 fixture against Everton, I believe it is. So he's pretty much ruled out. So that's 6 players, 6 outfield players that I don't have for game week 31. So I have to be very, very careful in terms of how I use my transfers going forward. For example, game week 27 after the double, there's a good possibility to take out Declan Rice. But there was also a possibility that I was thinking of upgrading James Garner to Morgan Rogers. But then the more I'm thinking about it, I'm also going to need funds to upgrade Mark Gui to another forward for game week 31. I'm going to keep saying it. Make sure you guys plan ahead, because realistically, going into game week 31, the 3 players that I want to roll on my bench are Erling Haaland, because I have a lot of value tied up in him. Gabriel, same thing. And Timber, I bought in Timber when he was 5.6, 5.7 million. I was one of the early people in Timber. So those 3 people I want to roll on my bench. So that means Semenyo will have to go, Declan Rice will have to go, and Mark Gui will have to go from my side. So those are the, let's say, areas of my team that my transfers are going to be geared toward over the next couple weeks, heading into game week 31, which is only 6 game weeks away. You're not going to have that many free transfers to deal with it. And remember, there are a couple other transfers that I'm also thinking about. Thiago, after game week 27, 28, is going to go on a very good fixture run. That's something I have to think about. Enzo Fernandez, the week that he plays Arsenal is when Harry Wilson's fixtures get very, very good for Fulham. So that's when I might want to make that transfer as well. So I have to think about how I also target the short-term fixtures and the fixture swings, but also worry about game week 31. I'm going to keep saying it. Make sure you guys plan your team for game week 31. You have enough time now to think about how you're going to deal with that blank game week, and you don't want to be taking hits realistically. So that's all I'm going to say. That's how my team is looking at for game week 25. Let me know what you think, and let me know my transfer plans going forward if you agree with it. But anyway, like the video, comment your thoughts on my team, and subscribe to the channel. And let's hope we walk out of game week 25 with a green arrow.